Hey now, welcome to Fitz's Electric Bar. I've got Jack Vinyl Martini with me. Jack, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Brian. Pleasure to be here.
Me too. And you're in the neighborhood. You're not far from here, but where are you based specifically?
Victoria. So very close, but very far if you've ever taken the ferry across here. So takes a lot of planning to get over to Vancouver.
The ferry is a wonderful thing, and it can also be a very frustrating thing.
Exactly.
When did you start your channel, Jack?
I'm going to say 3 years ago. Yeah, I just celebrated my third anniversary, I guess, last January. So it's been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. 3 years of a lot of fun, making a
Awesome.
lot of friends. It's great.
So why did you start your channel? What was the initial impetus to start the channel?
Well, I started watching Mazzy's channel, like everybody starts watching Mazzy's channel, and it expanded to other characters. And I thought, well, I can talk about music a little bit. Why don't I just put my hat in the ring and give it a shot? And I was terrible at the beginning, and just you get more comfortable the more you do it. And now it's just like waking up in the morning, putting your pants on.
I and if you're like me, it certainly impacts your day-to-day life. I say to my wife, you can't come through the house between 11 and 12:30.
Exactly. And I down here in my music room, we have our laundry. Our laundry room is right off the music room. So typically, just as I'm about to go tape a show, the laundry starts up. So I have to wait till the laundry is done.
I just had an idea. I'm interrupting my just what I said earlier, but um I think it'd be fun to actually show like where we're shooting. Like if you've ever been onto a sound stage for a TV show and you have something that you really loved and you look at it and you go, this is where they shoot this show that I love. It's like,
Yeah.
we've got the frame and then everything out of the frame. I've got laundry on my bed and just
Mhm.
how did you come up with your channel or your moniker, your name for your channel?
Well, I like martinis, and it just sounded good. I thought about it for I guess a week or so, and I just said just make it simple. And it's I like to shake things up a little bit on the music on the music side, so it just seemed to just work out fine. And people can remember the name easily, I think.
I think you just did a dad joke there, didn't you?
I just did a what?
A dad joke. You like to
Yes.
shake things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a dad, so I come by it honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and what has your experience been like doing your channel? And also in particular, what has surprised you about having a vinyl community channel?
Just how quickly you make friends. I'm really surprised at how positive all the comments are. I think I've gotten maybe two or three negative comments, and I'm not even sure they were negative comments. Maybe there was a language barrier when somebody commented on one of my videos, but it's just so positive, and it's so easy to make friends and connect with people.
Awesome. Okay, here are the 10 questions then, Jack.
Okay,
So, what record are you listening to a lot these days? I call this a front of the pile record.
front of the pile record right now is Patterson Hood's new album. What's it called? Shriek. Uh, Something trees. Anyways, he just released it at the beginning of March. Patterson, Drive By Truckers, right?
Hmm.
And it's a great record. Great record. Very stark, but he does some he does some duos with Lydia Lovelace, uh, Wahachi, I think, some of his friends, and he plays piano on it. The producer forced him to play piano. Of course, he wrote the songs on piano, and he thought somebody else was going to play piano for him, but producer made him play piano. So it's fantastic. I'm a drive-by truckers nut, so I come by it honestly.
I'm with you on that. Are you going to see them when they come to town?
I am. That's what I'm going to be. I'll be over there in June.
Well,
So
then, let's
June
see if we can
12th.
get together for a martini or a drink because I'm going to that show too.
Absolutely. That'd be great.
Tell me about a favorite concert experience you've had.
Favorite concert experience. How about Leonard Cohen in 1974? He was, he's just super. It's the only time I've ever seen him. I saw him at Massey Hall, and what a place to see somebody, right? And he was just magical, just uh, so well dressed, so well presented, and so so attractive to the women were drooling. They were just all over themselves, and it was a very quiet show, and it was just amazing. But I've seen, I guess, I don't know if you know this or not, but I used to work at A&A Records on Yonge Street for about 3 years. So they used to have a little ticket booth there. So I got to get my hands on tickets for a lot of shows at Massey Hall in particular, but Maple Leaf Gardens all over town.
You know, it's possible that I might have handed a record to you or bought a concert ticket with you on the other side of the counter.
It is very likely.
I think I've spent a lot of money at A&A's over the years in the past.
Well, well, you don't work at a record store to make a lot of money. You work at a record store so that you can get a discount on the records that you bring home on Friday night, right? So
That's right. It's a dangerous profession if you want to make a living.
it is.
Yeah. Tell me a favorite Bowie record.
Favorite Bowie record. I would have to say, I'm going to say two, his last two. Uh, yeah, his last two records were just brilliant. But I love everything Bowie. It's just some records maybe a little bit overplayed. Like Ziggy Stardust is fantastic, but I rarely play it. I'll play it every kind of 3 years or 4 years because I just know every song, every note on the record. But when you do play it, when you do play it, it just brings it all back and how great the sound is. But yeah, Bowie's last two records, I would say.
Great. Tell me one of the saddest songs ever.
One of the saddest songs ever. Boy, you're putting me on the spot there. I'd have to say a country song. Um, Something maybe by Graham Parsons. Uh, Tonight the Bottle Let Me Down by Graham Parsons. That is that sad enough for you? Just off
That's
the top of my head.
that's pretty good. You know, it's funny. I was just when I was talking to you, I started thinking Graham Parsons, and the one I was
Mm.
thinking was $1,000 Wedding
Oh
off of
yeah.
Grievous Angel. That's a pretty
Hmm.
sad one too.
Great song.
Yeah. One of the most joyful songs ever.
Um, Boy, but these questions are hard, Brian.
Well,
Come
I'm
on.
putting the hard ones up front. They'll get easier.
Joyful song. Hmm. I'm going to say a song that comes in my head is Simple Sister by Procol Harum. And it's not very joyful, but it's really powerful. I like powerful stuff, and that brings me joy. How's that?
Perfect. Great. Um, so I'm going to paint you a scenario. You come into your music room. There's no laundry that needs to be done. Your wife is out running errands. You've got the house to yourself. What's a perfect first record of the day for you?
Well, the older I get, um, I like, I'm not listening to a lot of rambunctious music anymore. So there are first thing in the morning, I'm not going to play something really, really loud. So I would say maybe how about a Tim Hardin record? Yeah, Tim Hardin. I'm going to stick with that answer.
Nice. Unlike Ben Rankins, I don't give points for anything. Everything gets a point or nothing gets a point, however you want to
Okay.
look at it. One of the most underrated bands or artists ever, in your estimation.
How about Tom Verlaine from television? His solo stuff is remarkable, and nobody ever talks about it, I don't think. So Tom
Funny.
Verlaine,
It's funny how Marky Moon, it's just like all anybody could ever talk about, and he's had this prestigious solo career.
exactly. Yeah, and
But
that only lasted for like 2 years. Weren't they together for 2 years?
yeah, very
Yeah,
brief.
yeah.
I don't think he and what's his name, Richard Lloyd got along that well.
Oh
They did
gosh,
reform though.
yes, yeah.
Um, Van Morrison or Jackson Brown?
Um, Jackson Brown. Yeah, I love Van Morrison, but he's too much of a dick for me. So
That's
Jackson
always
Browne is just an incredible craftsman. You know, he's been at it for so long. He's a great singer, great guitar player, and yeah, Jackson Browne.
perfect. Joni Mitchell or Aretha Franklin?
Mm, Joni, yeah. Aretha, you know, was so great in the '60s and into the early '70s, but she kind of tailed off a little bit. Joni just had such a consistent, or has still has such a consistent career, and breaking out into jazz and all the stuff that she's done. She's just a consummate musician. Yeah.
Three, this is the last of the 10 questions. Three must-have desert island discs.
Mm. Must have desert island discs. Well, before I answer that, I have been thinking about this for a while. So I'm trying to get away from answering this question. But if you think about the actuality of landing on a desert island and having discs, say you find a hut, and in that hut is a like a Victrola or something, like a cranked up thing, and you think there's going to be a Led Zeppelin record or a Black Sabbath record there. No, it's probably going to be Ray Conniff. It's probably going to be Max Bygraves, and maybe somebody similar to that. The kind of record stores you find in a thrift store. But if you're alone on a desert island, you're gonna have to play those records, and I bet you're gonna end up loving those records. So back to your question, I would have to say John Lennon's first album, the Plastic Ono Band, would be one. Um, Songs of Love and Hate by Leonard Cohen, and Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones. So a little bit of variety there.
Beautiful. Lovely selection. Yeah. And you could do some primal scream therapy with the Lennon record as well.
Exactly.
You may need that. Perfect. Okay. Now these are 5 questions customized for you, Jack, the final
Okay.
martini. So if you could be dropped into any music scene, any kind of well-known music scene from the past, what might it be? And I'll give you some examples. The Laurel Canyon scene, Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, CSM, all that kind of stuff. The UK punk scene, Stranglers, Clash, Damned, all that sort of thing. The New York City CBGB scene, so the Ramones, Television, Blondie, Dead Boys, etc. Uh, Beatles, Hamburg, 60 to 62, or fill in the blank. What would you choose?
I would say I'm not going to choose any of those. Those would all be great. But I would love to have been in New York City in the '50s and early '60s in the jazz scene. Yeah, the Village Gate, Vanguard. You know, it's that would be great to see all the jazz greats just in a small smoky club. That would be fantastic.
I love that. A lot of people think of the hippie America as being the time of great rebellion, but the real rebellion was during the time you just described, right?
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
awesome.
were. Yeah, they were groundbreakers for sure.
Thank you. Um, if you had to pick a favorite era of music, I'm kind of now stepping on what you just described, but if you were to pick a favorite era of music in terms of recorded music, what would it be? I'm going to add the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, or other.
'70s, '70s. Yeah, just a very, very. Uh, there's so much happening. There's from prog to blues to everything. The '70s. That's my comfort. That's my comfort zone. I try to get out of that comfort zone with '80s music and '90s music and uh, uh, music that's being released now. But yeah, the '70s for sure. However, I think that having said that, I think that we're probably living through one of the most vibrant eras of music ever. I mean, nobody's shooting up to the top, but there's just so much going on. There's so much music available and so many great musicians that it's a wonderful time to be listening and collecting music to contemporary artists for sure.
I agree. What artist do you feel has had one of the best evolutions or career arcs?
How about Tom Waits? Because I saw him in the early 70s. He opened for Bonnie Raitt, he opened for Maria Muldaur, and he was just a nobody then. And he started off as a singer, as a songwriter, trying to peddle his songs to Tin Pan Alley, basically. And he's astonishing. I've seen him 4 times, and every time I've seen him, he's just been delightful, and he's grown so much. And yeah, he's just a fantastic artist.
Thank you. Which Birds member solo career is your favorite? So I would say sort of the obvious ones might be, and you would know this, Roger McGuinn, David Crosby, Gene Clark, Graham Parsons, or anybody else.
I'd have to say Roger McGuinn. Yeah, I've I've only I used to have I only had the Byrds' greatest hits for some reason. And then I just in the last year or so, I've been picking up more Byrds records and Roger McGuinn's solo stuff because it's pretty cheap and available. It's incredibly cheap. He's great. I mean, he's put out some really fine records. So I would have to say Roger McGuinn.
I'm not familiar with his solo career, so how many records roughly would he have in his own discography?
I would say at least 12.
Wow,
Yeah, yeah, quite a few.
cool. Um, and a great rock biography or music documentary that you could recommend.
Mm. Uh, I would say 25 Feet from Stardom. Have you seen that about the
Mhm.
background singers? I always think about those poor background singers, and they are fantastic vocalists, and they deserve a shot standing in front of the stage. So I love that. I love that movie.
Was great. That dynamic of being next to stardom and being a complete unknown, right, is just
Yeah.
a really weird dynamic because
Hmm.
the skill level is obviously there, or they wouldn't be on the stage.
Yeah. It's just the luck of the draw. Yeah.
Two bonus questions. So one of them is, who do you think I think is your doppelganger in the music scene?
In the music scene.
I'm just curious if anyone's ever said this, but I thought of this the moment I saw you. I thought, he reminds me of X.
Well, because I wear glasses on my channel, I don't walk around with these are my reading glasses. And I've met people in the VC before and I've had my glasses off and they walked right past me. They didn't recognize me. But I would say, how about Steve Martin?
Ooh, never thought about
Because of the
that.
glasses, gray hair. I don't know.
Okay, here's my one. I
Okay.
think if you had a little bit thicker hair, your hair is wonderful, but if it was even thicker and a little bushier, Nick Lowe.
Oh yeah, no, that's again the glasses, right? Yeah.
Glasses. Yeah.
And a good hair. Yeah.
And a good hair.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I love Nick Lowe as well. He's another artist that doesn't get enough recognition.
So true. Late
Yeah.
career Nick is really special, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the final question is, what's the meaning of life?
The meaning of life. Uh, well, I'm going to answer it this way: how to have a happy life. First of all, you have to have somebody in your life in your life that you love. Doesn't have to be you don't have to be married, but you have to have people in your life that you care about and you love. You've got to have geez, now I got to blow this. You've got to have um, something that you do that you love. You have to have, doesn't matter, even if you're working and you hate your job, you have to have something that you love doing. And the third thing is you have to have a plan for the future that you're looking forward to. And if you've got those 3 things, I think you're going to have a happy life. I think that's a good life philosophy as well.
Love it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So thanks for joining today. And
Thanks for having me, Brian. It's been a pleasure meeting you. And let's get together in June. That'd be great if we